everyone, welcome back to the channel. Sorry there's been a delay in videos. It's been slowing down a little bit because work commitments as usual. I only do this as a hobby, so when I get a chance to do any motorcycle stuff, I'm on it. So I'm mindful of people like to get videos regularly, particularly when they're following a series. So I do apologize for that, but I am ticking away at them slowly. I don't want to release a video that is too short because I get criticized for that. So you can't win. But today I'm going to be looking at the engines. I'm going to start working on them now. I've done most of the body work. I did the exhaust pipes. I've done the silencers, the mufflers, as some of you have seen already in the previous video. I need to buy some foam for the seats so I can cut those. And then sew up all the saddles, so there's a bit to do there. The wheels haven't been done yet. What else is there? There's a few things that still need to be done, but it's slow progress, of course, and I have to paint the frame. Other than that, now I'll get onto the engines and let's see what horrors exist in the gearbox and the bearings. I've got most of the parts, including the head that has been sent to me, and it wasn't cheap, but that's sometimes the price you pay for a re-sleeve on an engine, but at least I get to be able to consolidate the third engine. Initially, I didn't think that I had enough spare parts to make up the third RM, but it looks like I'm going to get 3 RMs out of this. I'm missing a plastic cowl on the radiator scoop, and there's a lot of plastic repair work to do, as you can imagine. So slowly we're going to get this project done. If any of you have any comments or questions, please put them down below and I'll answer them. I try and respond to just about everybody that comes online, as some of you will see in the comments. So I'm quite active there. So if I can help anybody or admit to a failure or a weakness in my skill set, that's more than fine. I don't mind. So let's get on with it. This is looking good. What I've done is taken these snap bolts out, one there and one there. We've cleaned this up and now sprayed a sealant, a crystal clear satin. This is not a 2-pack, but it'll be fine. I don't plan on getting any fuel or alcohol on this, but let's see how that goes. But yeah. Pull that hole out. Those are good. Those are in line. Let's see that, because we're going to be making one for this side, which is missing. So here's this one finished now. I just wanted to share with you some of the changes that take place when you blast these. Depending on how accurate you want the restoration to be, blasting is good for cleaning all the burrs off and scratches and things as much as you can, depending on how deep they are. Like that one will still be there. But it unifies the aluminium and makes it look good. However, the one downside is that you lose these extruded lines that make, you can see them here, a little bit more prominent here. This is kind of how they make them. They extrude the aluminium. Now you can sand these in, you can apply them back again, and they do look pretty close. So we're going to try and do that, but I just experimented to see at which stage is best for doing a sandblast like this. Because if you look at these burrs need to be cleaned off, and once you sandblast the aluminium, you expose, it becomes porous, the surface becomes porous and very easy to stain. So I think in hindsight, having done this, I just wanted to experiment with the pressures on this one. But in hindsight, I'm probably going to do all the edge finishing fixes first and then blast what I need to blast off. But as you can see here, obviously it looks considerably better than those. Although these still have this authenticity to it, a little bit of a sheen to it. You can see whereas this is quite dull. So I'm going to try and buff this with a steel brush and try and get it as close to this finish as I can. You can see the sheen is back, and actually the amount of pressure I applied to the silica blaster still preserved these scars. This is not, I have not created these. These are just accented them again out of the matte finish. So that's really good, because that means it's a lot less work for me to do. Unfortunately, these type of blemishes are just unavoidable. It's part of what we accept as a restoration. So you can see the difference here. Just a very flat color. But I'm going to see which cables need to be replaced and which ones are fine, just dirty. Normally the cable is only stuck in this area because of the dirt that goes in. The rest of the cable is generally clean inside, provided that the inner lining is not frayed or damaged from overuse or kinks. So let's see. Sometimes it needs a little bit of coaxing. There was a hole here which I've sealed, so now I'm going to apply the same techniques I applied on the RM250 when I'm going to heat and hit, and that seems to get the part coming out. So I'm going to see how much pressure is in here now, and then I'm going to knock those out if I can. I didn't video this because it's just a process of heating and shaping. So this was quite badly dented. I'm now going to remove all of this and try and get it exactly profiled. But that's quite good. You can see what looks like dents, but they're actually just stain marks from the heat. All these were straightened out. This was a dent in here. So pretty much got a really bad one out here. It's still slightly there. I think I'm going to go to the next phase now and just profile this and see what we've got. About 7 weeks ago I sent the third engine's barrel to PJ Motorcycle Engineers, who had to do a re-sleeve because if you remember the sleeve itself was cracked at the base. So they've supplied me with a rebored re-sleeved cylinder with a piston. So let's have a look and see what we've got. Okay, let's see what we've got here. Came with a piston. Oh, it's a double ring. Yeah, it's interesting. It's always a nice feeling that the tolerance is there. Good. Okay. This is the engine that was probably in the worst condition externally, but this is the third engine. But it looks to be probably internally maybe one of the better ones. So other than missing a few case screws, etc., let's get into this machine and see what we can salvage and what I have in spare parts. You can see there's quite a few missing. This goes clockwise, not anti-clockwise. This case is coming off far too easily. I didn't put a gasket in here. No gasket. Okay. Let's make sure we don't drop everything. Okay. Whew. I'll get that into the wash. Now I will use this video as a reference on this engine, but I'm sure by the third gearbox this is going to be pretty easy going. So that looks pretty good, I have to say. It looks nice. We'll just give this a clean. But whoever owned this before obviously thought this didn't need any gaskets in it. Amazing how robust these engines are, how much abuse they can handle. So here you can see what makes this Suzuki different is that the seal on the outer side of the crankcase has got the lip on the outside facing out. On the CRs, they're the other way around. They obviously have their own system. There you go. comes to doing the media blasting on these, you've got to make sure that all your bearings are out. And I would advise you to put the casings back together again so that the media blaster doesn't affect the mating walls or any of the bearing walls. So you can do the outside just to get rid of all the dirt and stuff ready for paint, cleans it up just generally, and it's a good thing to do. Just be careful you don't work these areas too much. Particularly if you're not sure of the media blaster or the media that you're using, I wouldn't do it. I would rather just do it by hand and clean it. So be careful. Very little play on that, but we do have some here, so I'm going to take that off and I'll just clean this up and that should be it. So this is what is inside. It looks pretty rough. So we're going to see if we can't save these. Because you just can't find them. Let's see if we haven't stripped any gears, that sort of thing. But this bike you can see was run without oil. And this tends to happen. You get a sort of a sludge at the bottom when there's not enough servicing of these engines. And if this wasn't serviced, it'd probably run out of oil eventually. So we'll go and look for that. That's probably why these bearings are so short. There it is, cleaned. So this is engine number 1, the one that was running. You can see it's got a lot of tar and muck on here, and it's in a bit of rough state. But this looks all good. Yeah, let's strip this one and see what's going on. One thing I noticed straight away is that I have all the screws in place, so that what's useful about this is these screws will tell me what are the long ones and the short ones we need for what part. So let's get stripping. Thank you. Right, that's all the screws off. But first, coffee. So look at this. This is part of the impeller that's broke off. It's a washer. Right, this is now ready for media blasting. So now we'll add it to the pile like this. Folks, that concludes the strip down of the bike engines. So far they looked all pretty good, no problems, or not too many bad problems. Some were trickier to get separated than others, but I'm glad to say that they're pretty much ready to build now. What we do next is I'm going to take all the parts, I'm going to line them up, check which parts are missing, which parts are not, which parts are worn, which ones aren't, and then we're going to make a list and I'm going to go hunting. There are a few things like the casing bolts which are missing on these two. This one was complete. So I'll see you next week with a little bit more of an update on the engine. So I'll see you then.